Okay, number 11. Again, you have these two different variables, x and y, in the same problem, but it's just a distribution problem where you take the negative 3x and you distribute it through. Just remember that whenever you multiply the x's together, you're going to have to add their exponents. So negative 6x squared y minus 15xy. This x, this y. Okay? These x's, when they were put together, that made x squared. And then there's a y. And that's finished. Number 12, I'm going to distribute a y squared through. Remember to add exponents. So x squared is left alone, but y to the third, because 2 plus 1, plus. Now, I don't really care for the way they wrote the question, because typically in math we put the x's before the y's. We put them in alphabetical order. Okay, so I'm going to put the x first. X is first, and then y to the fourth power, because the 2 plus 2 gives you 4. Okay, you're adding the exponents when you multiply common bases. And finally, number 13. It's a foiling question with two variables. I do see a lot of quiz questions like this and a lot of test questions like this because we think that it's important that you know how to multiply two variables at the same time. So here we go. X times 5x is 5x squared. X times 6y is 6xy. Negative y times 5x is negative 5xy. And negative y times positive 6y is negative 6y squared. And if you just look at that very carefully, what you'll notice is that you actually have a couple of like terms. Positive 6xy, negative 5xy. So you're going to add those two like terms together. And when you add like terms, all you're doing is changing the coefficient in front. So 6 minus 5 gives you 1. You don't actually have to write the 1 there. So you can just write plus xy minus 6y squared. And again, there's an understood 1 here. Okay, it wouldn't be 0 because if it was 0, we wouldn't have had to write it at all. So this is your final answer for number 13. Okay. Well, I thought we were going to go all the way through 15. Evidently, I hadn't written all the questions down yet. So let's go ahead and get 14 and 15 down. 14. We are on page 67. Yes. Xy squared plus 70 times 3x plus 2y. And to conserve paper, I'm just going to try to get 15 on here as well. It might actually end up being too crowded, but we'll see. Okay, so there we have it. 14 and 15. 14. Xy squared times 3x is 3x squared, because x times x is x squared. And then you just leave the y squared there. Plus 2xy to the third. See the y and times the y squared. Plus 70 times 3 is 210. X. And then 140y. To conserve a little bit of space, I'm going to write it here. and then I'm just going to rewrite it as a final answer because there are no like terms here. So 3x squared y squared plus 2xy cubed plus 210x plus 140y. And that'll be all. Okay? And this last question is just a distribution problem, okay? The difficult part about this is that it looks like it's distribution, but it's from the right. So I can distribute this direction as well, which it doesn't matter, okay? You can keep going from left to right and it will work. It's just that people think, well, this has to be distributed into many different ones on the right side. Well, not really. Okay, this is a simple distribution of one term into three terms here. Okay, so this becomes 5x to the third y minus 20x squared y squared plus 5xy to the third. Let's see again. I'm just going to double check. 5xy, so the x times x squared is 5x cubed. We've got xy times xy, that gives me x squared y squared. Then I've got the xy times y squared, and that gives me xy cubed. Yep, so that's the way you do number 15. So that's all for those questions through 15 on page 67 in the Math 1 book. Enjoy.